Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Next Level Technical. In continue in continuation of my previous video, I made an example of how to configure DHCP server. And on this my right hand side was the configuration for DHCP server. And I said I'll be using this other session as a DHCP relay. So in the sense that what do we need DHCP relay for? Now, on this particular domain, this is actually a broadcast domain from this router to this switch, and then and and what happens if you have a device at a remote far end, several hops away? This is about it's about 3 hops away to this device, and you want this device to access the DHCP server here. What do you now do? So let's issue a DHCP server because by default router communication is unicast in form, and this DHCP on on this particular domain works in it's like a broadcast protocol because on layer 2 to layer 3 it uses 255.255.255, which is a broadcast IP, and on the layer switch layer 2 device it is all FFFF, which is a MAC address format of broadcast. So what happens when this device want to access this GCP server? How do you go about it? Well, in Cisco router there is a command you can use for DHCP relay, and that is with the use of IP EPA address. We'll configure it. Now the rule is for you to use that IP EPA address, there must be reachability between the last router facing the host devices or device or devices. There must be reachability to, what do we call it, the DHCP server. So reachability can be achieved either by using static routing or using the uh, the routing protocols. But in this case, I'll just do a routing, use routing protocols to establish my connectivity. So it's actually a bonus class. You'll see how I carry out the OSPF configuration. So without delay, let me go into the router. For example, if I come to this particular PC, this one, remember I have IP address assigned in my previous video. There are IP address assigned to these devices, and these devices have access to the internet. These devices have access to the internet. Um, let me ping, let me ping 8 It has access to the internet because it was NATed to the internet. Ping 8 So it has access to the internet. So what do I do now? I will need to configure reachability using routing protocols, interior routing protocols for these routers. Let me go to R1. I need to enable OSPF. That is the bonus class. I enter R2. But like I earlier said, I'll discuss in details how you can configure OSPF and then and the rules that comes with it. You can't just set up OSPF and the whole thing is running, and then later on you have issues. So let me go straight. So we assign on these interfaces. We need an IP address. An IP address I'm going to use for those interface on these interfaces. It's going to be 172.16.10.x, and they are going to be a /30 range IP. So this is the IP. I'm going to be using what we call variable length subnet. It's another topic for another day. but it's just to enable reachability between these. So the focus of this class is DHCP server, DHCP relays. But if you can catch up, you see how I assign the IP address. So on this particular interface, e interface e1 slash 0, IP address 172.16.10.1 255.255.255.252 is a slash 32 IP address. I will no short it. And then and then let me go to arrow 2 on the config T interface E1 slash 1 IP address 172.16.10. What's the IP address I used the earlier one? I use dot one. I'm going to use dot two here. 255.255.255.252. I'll no short it. Let me just confirm. Do ping 172.16.10.1. Okay, it's reachable. On arrow 3, I'll do the same. Let me do config T on arrow 3 interface E1 slash arrow 3. Yeah, provisional supply. On arrow 2, let me play. I'm not done with that. Interface 1.0, which is this interface facing this direction. And then IP address 172.16.10.5, 255.255.255.252. Then I think no shots. Then on arrow 3, this particular interface here, I think I'm already there, but let me just so that I don't want to be working on different interface. Um, IP address 172.16.10 dot 6 255.255.255.252. And I will no short it just to confirm. Do ping 172.16.10.5 to be sure of reachability. Okay, good. I'll now work on this interface. Now on ETA 3 as well, on E1 slash 1, on E1 slash 0, sorry to say, E1 slash 0, IP address 172.16.10.9, 255.255.255.252. I will no short I will do short it. What I'm actually doing is VLSM, variable length subnets. VLSM actually, along with NAT, are those tools that are used to conserve IPs. VLSM finds a good use in a large network. You can imagine me using just this IP for all reachability on this router. That is VLSM. I'll talk about it in one of the upcoming sessions. So IP address on this particular interface. That's what I'm working. I hope I'm not missing anything here. How to because of what's to show IP interface brief 3.5 to show IP interface brief. Okay, dot 9. Okay, both are up. So on this interface now, config T interface E1 slash 1 IP address 172.16.10.10 255.255.255.252. I will no short. I will no short it. Let me confirm reachability. Do ping 172.16.10.9. Okay, that is successful. So on this interface, I'll come to that later. So let me configure OSPF for reachability. So basically, I've used out of this is a if this is a slash 24, for example, I only used up to um, um, uh, let me see, do show IP interface brief dot 10. So I've only managed to use up to uh, IP block 8, which is about 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 12 IPs, about 12 IPs or so. So um, let me now um, about 11 IPs. About 11 IP, 12 is another subnet. About 11 IPs. That's what I've used so far. So now I need to work on OSPF. So I'll now say router OSPF1. That is OSPF1 being a process number. It does not matter. Um, and the network I'm using is 172.16.10.0 with the white card with the white card the white card 0.0.0 dot dot 3. In one of the upcoming session, I will discuss area 0. I will discuss about white card. So redistribute connected. By default, Cisco router use external type 2. So I'll stop there. And what else again? Um, it's just basic, but in a production environment, it's good to use passive default. It will shut down interface. Then you now unshut the interface you want to use. But I'm not doing that. I just need the stability. So to hasten the process, I can just do show run session OSPF so that I will not be repeating the same command. I just use test editors. So this is the process. Just to be just to copy and paste in the other routers to avoid time waste, wastage. So in this case, network address here was 0. Let me the network address in this area here is 0, and there's also another network address which is 4, which is 4. So let me copy this and paste here. So I should see an interface coming up. I don't want to be specifying network type. There's no time for that. Just want to enable reachability. For this interface, I have network 4 and network 8. So just copy this using test editor and now paste here. So paste here, area 0. Exit. Should be having an interface coming up here too as well. Um, okay, came up here, arrow 2, network 3. I'm not having to show IP interface. Brief. Okay, 4 and 8. 4 and 8. Okay. And these two to show run session OSPF. Okay, the other interface has come up because I was wondering why the other interface is not yet up. And I have 0 and 4. The IP address 0 and 4. So it is up. Do show IP OSPF neighbor summary OSPF. Okay. Okay, that is fine. That's fine. So, and then for this guy here, I only have one interface, which is just this area. So let me remove this and I copy and then paste. That's it. So I should be having full reachability now. Let me um, let me see if I can see this. If you come to this interface, do show IP interface brief, excluding unassigned. So this IP address, I should be able to see it in this router to show IP route OSPF. So I'm actually having that subnet there. So I can actually reach this subnet if there's a IP EPA configured here. So on this interface, do show IP interface brief. On the interface facing this on the interface facing this device, don't be confused with the OSPF I set up here. Later on, I'll do a setup on more explanation on OSPF. I just want reachability. So meanwhile, for this guy here, for me to obtain IP address, if I come to this device and I do DHCP, I will not obtain any IP because there's no on this interface. There's no IP address, no server running in this router. This is the router there. Let me just do right. I will exit these two routers, so I'll be working on do right. There's no DHCP server running in any of these guys here. So this router, this and this is what I am concerned, and it can't find server. So if you come to look at the interface, it's a one, which is this one there, connect interface. But this particular interface 1.0, there's no IP address. So I'll go to interface E1/0 IP address 192.168.20.1 20.1 255.255.255 dot let me just do dot zero. I say no short. I've not configured the IP address. So before you do this, now if I come to this arrow one, this IP address should be seen in this arrow one. Do show IP route OSPF. Um, Online to look at it external type 2, and that is the IP address I just configured on this interface on arrow 4. So, like I earlier stated, there must be reachability between the server and this for you to establish DHCP relay. So, on this on this router, I need to create a pool in corresponding to the IP assigned on this interface, which is this arrow one, this guy here. If I do show IP DHCP pool, you will see the existing pool I created. This pool, this pool, this pool is the one I configured for this broadcast domain. So I want to create a pool for this range, for this interface here. So I will now, okay, IP DHCP pool, and then I'll give it a user 2 underscore pool, and then the default router is going to be the IP address on this interface, which is 192.168.20.1, and then the network is 192.168.20.0. Okay, and then the subnet max 255.255.255.0, and then the lease 0 0 dot 50. Okay, DNS server is, let me just give it to DNS server. So let me not write yet. So I've done that now on this. If I do do show IP DHCP pool. Have two pool now running, one for this other user, this one, the other one for this other other device. If I do show DHCP bindings, do show IP DHCP bindings. So this one that be binded are the ones that are running on these two devices. So I will now need to configure IP EPA address on this particular interface. I'll go to interface. Let me do show IP interface brief. The interface that is facing this device, that's where I will configure the IP EPA address. I'll configure once there the interface at that time. Okay, interface. I'm already there, but I just want to interface E1/0 IP EPA address. The IP address on this interface is where I'm pointing to. That is where I'm sending my DHCP request on port number 67 to. This router RO4 will help me to relay that request to this, and the server will respond back to this device. So IP EPA address, let me go to RO1 and see what I configured on that interface. Do show IP interface brief excluding unassigned. So the interface here, E1/0, is this guy here. I'll come to this place. That is all I need to do. So let me come back to this PC now and do the same DHCP. Good. You can see now I have IP address and it's pointing to this. So if I come to this server from here now, I'm obtaining IP address from this server. If I come to this place, remember I did IP do show, look at this information here, do show IP DHCP binding, and it showed me only two devices, which is these two devices connected. So now I will now want to do this again to see. Now it is now three, and this is a different from a different IP address on this particular device, and the IP he issued out is two. Actually, I did not exclude some IP address on that range. I should have done that. So that's the I did thing to do. So IP DHCP excluded address is 192.168.20 dot 20 dots. What am I going to do now? Dot 20.1, 192.168.20.10. So I've excluded this. Let me do clear IP DHCP binding. I don't want to clear all. So the specific IP that I want to clear is going to be 192.168.20 dot dot one. I think that's all. I'll press enter. Um, let me see. I see no IP. Okay, sorry. Do show IP DHCP binding. Okay, do clear dot two. Yeah, so I've cleared that dot two. Let me come to this PC one. Remember, it started obtaining IP from two. Let me reissue that IP. It should start from 11 now. So 192.168.20.11, that is now the IP it is now obtaining. So let me do that. Do show IP DHCP binding. So look at the IP here now. So basically, this is how to configure DHCP relay in uh, in Cisco routers. If you come to this router and I say do show run session DHCP. There's no, apart from IP EPA address, no DHCP running in this router. No information will come up. You see? No. Do show DHC, it do show IP DHCP binding. Nothing is happening here. It only relay the request from here to the server, from here to the server, and the server responded back with the information that is being requested for. So that is actually how to configure DHCP relay, and that comes to the end of today's presentation on DHCP relay. Please, if you like my tutorial, we appreciate if you can please like, share, and also let people know about my channel to grow my channel. And as like I earlier said, I promise to bring in more interesting content. So you can also actually take out some lab. Don't just stop by watching this. There's packet tracer. You can actually do this. There you don't need to have GNS3 to start. It's only when you are going more advanced that is when you need GNS3. If not, packet tracer is a good start. So thank you for joining me, and do stay blessed. Thank you.